Alrighty, folks, what is going on, everybody? AFG 1997 coming back with you guys tonight's video of the Huskies post game report. The UConn Huskies men's basketball. The women's do play tomorrow against Bunamania 1989's Tennessee Lady Volunteers. And speaking of Vols, they're only up by 6 right now in men's basketball within a minute 48 to go in the second half in regulation against Auburn 72-66. I'm watching right now while I'm recording this video, I should say, because Gonzaga is also playing right now against St. Mary's for 3, no good. Rebound for Tennessee, he has 4-2 Gonzaga, 6-2 Gonzaga now, 17-17 in the first half. It's on ESPNU because that's on ESPN coming in just a moment. Well, the game tonight, Huskies were all over the place today. Yeah, because Duke's survived, well, a little bit survived against Virginia Tech. Houston, no problem against Cincinnati. UCF upsets Texas Tech. Clemson just beat Pitt today by 11. Virginia on the CW Sports, they took down Boston College. And Arizona's still undefeated. Pfft, yippee. As a Huskies fan right here. Tar Heels won, and they got a rivalry game next week. Again, we're not going to have time for that because we're covering the 2026 Winter Olympic Games on the NBC Universal Networks. Be ready for that. And then you got Louisville BSMU today. Undefeated Miami, Ohio. Redhawks. They're undefeated. They're still on a better ways to win the games against Northern Illinois, storied Illinois, did not age well. And then the top NBA prospect, Kansas beat BYU. Yeah, the one and done crap. Vanderbilt survived scare against Ole Miss today, 71-68. And Kentucky upsets Arkansas. So we got 2 upsets today, if I believe. Yeah, 2 upsets in one day. Yeah, but there's one more, maybe St. Mary's. Who knows? So that game, we're gonna get to the box score, and hopefully, maybe the social media reaction. I don't think I can, but they were all over the place today because they were just shooting the balls, shooting rebounds. Karaban, Mullins just outbounced them. So we're ready for that one. So. This is from Omaha, Nebraska of AP. So let's get to that. Braylon, this is, they pull away in the late first half. Yeah, because I just knew they were going to come from behind because they took care of the struggling Creighton Blue Jays. That logo, they need to go back to the old school, like the old basketball logo with a signature logo font of Creighton Blue Jays. They need to go back to that because that logo of this just it's not working. Ever since Sean McDermott. Well, I don't know, but hold on. Ever since 2013-14 Creighton Blue Jays. Because I remember they were too good. Sean McDermott, yeah, it was the son. It was the son of Greg McDermott, the son of Sean McDermott. Yeah, Doug McDermott. Excuse me, Doug McDermott used to play good from Ames, Iowa, in high school. He was freaking fantastic. He was a senior captain. He was a walk-on team captain senior. So there's that. No, he was just a great player, but go back to the old logo. Go back to like that. Yeah, this one, the 2012-13. I used to love that logo. Back in the Missouri Valley days, now in the Big East, it's not working. It's just not working, guys. So, anyways, let's continue with this. Braylon Mullins scores 16 points, and Alex Karaban and Silas Demary Jr. had a piece with 15 points to lead the number 2 ranked UConn Connecticut Huskies as in an 85-58 rout of Creighton on tonight's game. Saturday night, which is tonight. Because they're now 21-1, 11-0 in the Big East. They're 3 away for breaking that 1995-96 record that is now shared with 94-95 St. John's. The St. John's Red Hawks. Yes, the Lou Carnesecca's team, by the way. And Felipe Lopez. Felipe Lopez was part of Creighton Blue Jays. Also, I know some of the Creighton Blue Jays. Ron Artest. Yeah. Ron Artest. So, yeah. There he goes. Won their 7 straight posted. The Huskies won their 7 straight and posted their biggest winning margin in a conference road game in 2 years. Tennessee just beat Auburn, by the way, while I'm shooting the video. 77-69. Rick Barnes, 851 career victory as a head coach from Providence, my Hook'em Horns of Texas, and now Tennessee. I miss him as a Longhorn coach. Yeah. So, congrats again for Buddy Media's team. Now the women's do play tomorrow. You and me, Buddy Media. You and me. Revenge. I'm talking about revenge rematch from last year. So, there's that. The road games in the last 2 years. So, Creighton has dropped 2 straight games by a total of 51 points and a 27-point loss to the Huskies. Matched the most lopsided at home of Coach Greg McDermott's 16th season in Creighton, according to Sportradar. Yeah, let's go back to Coach McDermott, because ever since the son of Doug McDermott, he was a star leader back in his old days. And yes, he used to play Northern Iowa, and I believe he played the NBA. No, he did not play the NBA. No, he was a graduate assistant coach in North Dakota. That's true. So, here are the head coaching records, and his now is 641 wins and 374 losses. That's not good for Dad. He's now struggling. He's been struggling, guys. But they better get their act together on the next game, because Creighton, they don't want to see themselves falling down the stools. Ever since his Iowa days, they're not too wealthy, nor Iowa. That did not, well, yeah. It did not age too well for that. And he can't pass any of it ever since the Elite Eight of 2022-23. They lost to San Diego State. Close to the Final Four. Very close enough to the Final Four. I won't be surprised Texas might go far. Maybe. I don't know. But the Huskies have won 5 of their previous 6 games by 6 points or less. But this turned into a blowout after Creighton went into the offensive low late in the first half and never recovered. The Huskies shot 54.1% from the field, their best mark in the Big East game this season, and turned 13 offensive rebounds into 23 points in the paint. Points chances also. They were 16 out of 31 from 3-point range. 52%. And their shooting went cold. Still. Mullins had returned to the lineup after sustaining a concussion a week ago against Villanova. Yes, that game was so close last Saturday. And they almost lost that game. We all know how that went out in overtime. On the last second, they could have called a timeout. Instead, they took the ball away. And that was the end of regulation. But still, they won that game. And missing Tuesday's game against Providence, that game is also close as well against the Yankee Tanks team. He made a couple of early threes and finished with 4 in 29 minutes. We'll look at the box score in just a moment. Nick Graves and Blake Harper made their first start since December 7th, almost nearly 2 months ago, after McDermott revamped from his lineup following a 24-point loss at Marquette, and Yako's alma mater, by the way, the voice actress, and Yako. Anime voice acting. Grave led the Blue Jays with 17 points, and Harper added 11. Creighton's got to get some work to do because right now they're 6-5 in the Big East, and they're still running away. UConn is still running away. So Creighton played even terms with the Huskies for the most of the first half, but the Blue Jays went the last 4:41 minutes without a field goal, and UConn's 14-3 spurt to close the period made it to 41-30 at break and halftime. The Huskies led by the Huskies led by as many as 30 in the second half. Their next game, they got to face Xavier on Tuesday night, and I think they're gonna play on Friday, February 6th. Yes, and I don't have to worry about the primetime encore presentation of opening ceremonies of the 2026 Winter Olympic Games. It starts at 1 p.m. on NBC. I'll be watching it for sure because I got a cable guide with me from NBC. Hold on. Before I switch back to in 11 they're gonna start figure skatings and noon, and then they're gonna start at 1 o'clock on that one. So the game starts at 7 on Fox. Last college basketball games until February 22nd on the Sunday after the closing ceremonies. And we'll get to the schedule. I might check it out. Yeah, because we had to wait until February 25th. On the 28th, that will have to wait at Marquette on early birthday present. The last 3 games, so I don't have to worry about the other games. Yeah, speaking of NBC Winter Olympics schedule, 2026 schedule. Yeah, I got the schedule so we can hold on to the horses. Right there. The closing ceremonies is going to be, yes, at 1:30 p.m. in my time, in my area. Yes, it's live coverage. The closing ceremonies. We'll be there, so I don't have to worry about the prime time. I don't need to worry about it. We are going to watch this one, the closing ceremonies. So, should be interesting. And I'm going to change right there. I apologize for that. I'm trying to get an update from NBC Winter Olympics so we can continue on college basketball and stuff. Right there. Ken's 5. Yeah, at 1:30. So the closing ceremonies. I already know this Friday is going to be a opening ceremony. So be ready for that. So the box score right now, and I got it on my social media. I won't show it to you guys because copyright from the NCAA and the Big East and the universities. They don't want me to do that because if this does, then they're gonna tell me to either cut the edited parts out of the video or they're gonna take it down. So let's get to the UConn basketball. Earlier tonight's game, what they did is just a territory further. Man, I tell you, number 2's got some work on 3-pointer shots. They just put that little authority all game long in college basketball. I can't find the highlights. Yeah, solo ball, a 3-point shot, and Stewart got a jump shot, and then Karaban beyond the arc, and then at halftime, Mullins went for the 3-point shot, and Demary Jr. buckets, Malachi on 3-point ball, and then that seals the game. And the Huskies took care of it. They weren't just effing around, but... And they found out. Baker time. Still, we won this game. That far, that easy. So, the box score. The Huskies on solo ball played 32 minutes, almost nearly 40. But Braylon Mullins, we told you the numbers on 16 points. We told you the points on the article on the AP. But 6 out of 13 and then 6 out of 11 3 field goals. But Mullins got more of it than Demary's. Yeah. And then 3-point shot, 4 for 8 by Braylon Mullins, the freshman kid. 3 for 4 on free throws on Alex Karaban. That was Coach Hurley's big smart place. If you're Dan Hurley, yeah, do what you gotta do. And that's 6 rebounds split with Demary, Silas, Demary Jr. And another one, Mountain West game I'm watching, Wyoming and Colorado State. They're up 54-38, 7:09 to go. Yeah, because Colorado State's going to the Pac-12 next season, by the way. And then 5 assists on Demary Jr., 3 turnovers allowed, 1 steal on Karaban, and also a block split with Terrace Reed Jr. 5 offensive rebounds on Karaban, 6 defensive rebounds by Demary Jr. But fouls, I think Reed had troubles with fouls, something like that. Off the bench, 19 minutes by Eric Ripe, off the bench. But Jalen Stewart has 7 points. 3 for 4 on Jalen Stewart on field goal shots. And then you have 2 for 2 3-point shots by Jaden Ross. Everybody's shooting free throws. Nowhere near to be found. 1 for 2 by Jalen Stewart. Jaden Ross. 5 rebounds by Ripe. And then 4 defensive rebounds you got there. And then 1 assist split with Melander, Smith, Ross. Yeah. And then you got steal by Malachi Smith, only 2. Twice. And then a Creighton Blue Jays team. Yeah, the slow Creighton Blue Jays team. 29 minutes on Josh Dix. Seemed familiar name, but Nick Graves, 17 points. And then field goals, 5 for 6 on Graves, and 3 for 4 on 3-point shots from the field, and 4 for 4 free throws. 5 rebounds on Blake Harper, and then they got 2 assists by Graves and Dix. Everybody's got turnovers, and only 2 allowed for Blake Harper. A steal on Green and Dix, Jason Green and Josh Dix, and then 2 blocks on Jason Green. And then 2 offensive and they got more rebounds. Off the bench, Fedor Zukic. He played 18 minutes. No points. Only Owen Freeman has 7 points. 2 for 2 on field goals. And then nobody shot 3 points like 1. Isaac Trotted. Isaac Trout. 1 for 3. Not a good look for him. He's got to get some work practice to do on practice for the next couple of days. Like high school basketball, we have an Eagle Pass. And right there you see, this right there, this is from the Eagle Pass high school basketball right there. Yeah. And I'm still hanging in my wall. Still hanging in my freaking wall. Yeah. But now it is what it is. Yes. And then 3 rebounds by Shane Thomas. 2 assists. And then turnovers by Ty Davis, split by steals by Thomas and Davis, and no blocks. Just 2 on the game by Jason Green. And that's your box score, except we are going to the team stats for the Huskies. And we might get to play-by-play because they were shooting really good today. 54%. I'm going to close this. 54% from the field. Huskies, they're not too bad, but they got to get to 75% better. But it takes a little bit better for UConn, 33 out of 61. But their 3-point shots, they got a little bit good, but it has to be 75% or better. And it just terrifies themselves from the field. But the worst terrify is Creighton. They have more free throws than us today. I'll give credit to Creighton today. They got better free throws. Almost nearly 75%. Like your class grade average cannot fail. Because if you get 75% on C, then you're fine. If it's 70 or worse, you're failing your classes. Your grades are failing in your classes. Think about your teachers. Think about your makeup works. If I was in high school, yeah, my grades are gonna get worse. Can't even imagine back in my Eagle Pass high school days. But at least I'm the one that still does my work. Does my own work. My 8th year of high school, it was way good. Way good, except almost nearly perfect attendance in the first 9 weeks. All 5 classes, I missed 1 day. Back to this one. We got 37 rebounds. We got more than that. But we got more assists, a little bit of steal, but we split with blocks between Creighton and us, UConn. Turnovers allowed, it goes to Creighton, and then you got points off turnover. Fast break points, they got better fast break points than we have. None. Zilch. Nada. 0% chance. Then points in the paint, the Huskies got 6 more of that, and then fouls allowed. I'm surprised no technical or Freightlin fouls. That's great. And then you got largest lead. They were all into that today. And no one showed up. No one showed up for Creighton. The fans walked out at the end, almost near the end of the second half. But they were just... But all of that in the first half is just goes off of that. Because right now, it was like 29... It was like, 29-27. Demary Jr. makes a 12-footing shot within 4:17 left. And then a layup by Terrace Reed Jr. assist by Silas Demary Jr. And then Blake Harper just shoots a free throw, 1 out of 2. And then Reed Jr. gets a 1-foot dunk. And then a 3-pointer, 24-foot by solo ball, makes that Kobe Bryant shot. Can you imagine Kobe Bryant went to UConn or Villanova? That would have been good if he would have come to UConn. His daughter, Gianna Bryant, that would have been better, but RIP to those two. Demary Jr. makes a 12-foot floating shot on jump shot within 57 seconds left in the first half. And then a 3-pointer within 5 seconds. That was it. 28-foot 3-pointer by Silas Demary Jr. And then the second half, it's just Huskies. It's just Huskies all over itself. It's all on UConn. And then 29-foot 3-pointer by Braylon Mullins. And then Karaban makes a layup. And then a layup by Karaban within 17:06. And then it was all blowout. It was all a freaking blowout. Look at that. 55, 57, 60, 62, 62, 43, 64, 43, 72, 40. Yeah. The fans left within 7:20 to go in the second half, and they said, screw this, we're out of here. After that 3-point shot by Jaden Ross, 26-foot 3-pointer. and Silas Demary Jr. gets an assist. It was over. That game was officially a wrap. And then Braylon Mullins gets a 28-foot three-pointer. But that was pretty much all. Man, what a game. What a defensive offensive game for the Huskies. Yeah, they win it 85-58, the final score. And right now I'm looking at Gonzaga. I watched the Mountain West game. But what a game. It was on UConn. Nothing leads to changes, but it was all for them. Oh my God. It could have been another one. Jeez. Look at that. 1.1% on UConn. On Creighton. Jesus Christ. 99.9. It was like 8:49 in the second half. After 9:06, 98.1. It was like 2, and now it's 1. 8:49. Oh my God. Man, they didn't show up today. Creighton did not show up. And let me look at it again because I think their next meeting, I'm not too sure. Because they took down badly. But still undefeated. No, they faced them on February 18. And I'll be missing it because of the Winter Olympics. That's so true. That is so true. Gotta get ready for the Winter Olympics to focus on. But we'll update the, on my Chromebook here and especially on my phone. Yeah, please stick around. Stay tuned for that. So that is all for the UConn post-game report. They win it in this season. 78.7 points per game this season. 37.0 rebounds per game. And then 18.3 assists per game. And then points allowed, 64.3. And their offense on solo ball, Silas Demary Jr., well, points, assists, and a field goal on Ripe. Defensive rebounds on Terrace Reed. Steals per game on Silas Demary Jr., then Terrace Reed Jr. on blocks. So that's the story, guys. What are your thoughts on this of tonight's game? The Huskies spanked the belt to asses on Creighton so bad. They whooped them in the candy ass. Quote by The Rock. The promo of The Rock. So, you guys have a good night. Tomorrow, Tennessee and UConn. I will make a post game if they win. I will make it one. If not, hopefully the Texas game. They better win that. So, make sure you check your YouTube channels and accounts because people are still unsubscribing on different channels, including Black and White Sports 2, football, and make sure you check your videos every day and your channels every day so you'll get demonetized, and plus a bunch of AI bots, hackers try to get rid of us all. So thoughts on the comment section right down below. Smash this like button, subscribe to this channel, and rate that bell notifications on. Let notifications on, and share this video out there. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. So tell me what you think, Huskies fans. Tell me what you think, because I gotta get ready to get to Gonzaga because after the Wyoming and Colorado State game. So that's all we gotta say tonight. College basketball. 2 upsets today. UCF beat Texas Tech, and also Kentucky beat Arkansas. Peace. I'm out. Until the next time.